What is up, guys and gals and guys? Space Unicorn here, bringing you some hot frag action. So today, guys, we are doing the top 5 most overpowered cards in frag history. This is going to be an interesting list. We're going to explain to you guys what overpowered is, how it affects the game, and what cards truly meet the criteria to be overpowered. So with that being said, before we get into this video, I need you to do a huge favor. I need you to remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support is genuinely appreciated. We are on the road to 10K subscribers, and I cannot do it without you. So please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Here we go.
Zombie apocalypse.
Now, before we get into the top 5 list of this, first people need to understand what OP is. OP stands for, very simply put, overpowered. It means indomitable character or player, unstoppable. Now, with that in mind, people throw OP around way too much. OP is thrown on any character that feels strong, and that is simply not the case. That's why I don't like it when people say OP, because OP really isn't OP. It's just that's a good character. But people need to understand the difference between a good character and an OP character. Truth be told, there hasn't been many recently. There's only been one. And that's just kind of the way it goes. Through the course of Frag's history, in fact, there has been 7 actual OP characters. And I am not the one that determines this. The gameplay itself is what determines an OP character. Now, with that being said, can there be more than one OP character at the same time? Yes. A lot of times an OP character, a game developer will create a new character to counter the character because they don't want to change the character that they originally had. But really has the opposite effect because now there's just 2 cards that people are only running. This has happened once in Frag's history. Now, with that also being said, let's move into another thing with OP characters. An OP character, how do I want to put this? An OP character is not necessarily the best. How do I put this? I'm not sure. OP character is not necessarily the card that you see everybody running and doing well with. Just because a card is done well does not make it OP. That's just something that people need to understand. Like I said, I've explained why. With an overpowered character, you're looking for a few things. Think of this as your OP checklist, as you would. The OP checklist is very, very simple. It is, number 1, the character has no counter that will successfully counter the card consistently. With that in mind, you eliminate almost everybody's OP argument for a lot of cards. Number 2, in order to have an OP card, this card has to be able to not be controlled by anything in the game. This can mean AI, terrain, or situational base. If you put this card in the middle of a bunch of cards, it's going to come out victorious. That's OP. Then last but not least, in order to be an OP card, you're going to see what I call isolation of a character. Isolation of a character is basically where that one character controls 90% of the game and how the game processes through its normal flow, which is from start to finish. You must have all 3 of these things in order to be OP. Now, people yell OP whenever they see one of these things, but that's simply not true. For a prime example of this would be Arkan. People yell OP with Arkan. Arkan is not OP. Arkan is very, very good and very close to being OP, but he doesn't meet one of the credentials that I just put out for you. He has counters in the game that are not just Arkan. Cypher can counter him with the hack, just for Unicorn with the rainbow. Duncan with the range and burn off and speed. He has counters. Therefore, he is not truly OP. He's just a very good card and very close to being OP. But I digress. Let's move into the actual top 5 lists now. Number 5 on the list is Lucha. Lucha went through a phase very early on in the game after the Frost nerf where he became untouchable. There was no counter. He could do it all no matter what position you put him in. He had a headshot multiplier. He had 1,000 health. Nothing could stop Lucha Boy. That is why he was OP. Number 4 on this list, we have the Boss Man. The Boss went through a phase where he was the best and only option for defense. There was no counter for his defense, especially whenever he hit you with the ultimate ability. You just had to sit there and die, and it was within seconds. This was the first iteration of the Boss. There was nothing you could do. Didn't matter what character you were. The Boss was going to kill you. You want a 1,000 health point Lucha? Let me run right into this Boss Salt real quick. I'll be dead in less than a second. That was an OP play on the Boss's part, putting him in for qualification for an OP roll. Great card. Number 3 on this list is Pocahontas. For those guys that don't know what this was like back in beta, she used to be as fast as Striker is now, but she could also do it while she was shooting. So she had a 15 km/h movement speed, a 15 km/h shooting speed. That combined with a much faster reload, much more damage, 254 if you could hit your shots. Some people were very, very good at it. JTR overclock, looking at you. And then an ultimate ability that could do 700 damage. She really was a counter to Desper, and that was literally why she got buffed, to counter Desper, but made her OP. Next on the list, one of my best cards, Desperados. This card went through a phase where he was OP. He had a 4-second stun, consistent damage to the head, and really could face any situation he wanted with a good aim. Any character he wanted to lasso, and they were dead. Didn't matter where you were on the map, the lasso had limitless range. Not only that, the lasso automatically reloaded your weapon, thus allowing you to inflict silly damage numbers upon whoever you so choose. There's a reason this card was so good. Number 1 on the list is Frosty Boy. You think Frost is okay now. You should have seen him back in beta. This card had more health. He had, besides quarterback, the 3rd most health in the game. He had limitless range, consistent damage, and if he hit you, you stood completely still. At any range where you hit with Frost, it was ridiculous. We're going to get more into why Frost is the strongest ever in a moment. Alright guys, so now we are here. I told you guys there's 7 cards in the game, but first we're going to start with Frost again. So I want to reiterate to you just how good Frost was at one point. Frost was literally the Reaper of Frag. He did 63 minimum damage at any range. Literally could manually fire any distance, and making him super hard to handle. Didn't matter what you threw at him. Not even a 1,000 health point Lucha was safe from the Frosty Man. Not to mention, if he hit you, you had to stand completely still. Because of the way his shot worked, you couldn't move. You were just a sitting duck. Not even an overpowered card like Lucha could handle Frosty Boy. Frost also had an ultimate ability. This is just a little fact for you guys. My Frost at level 13 back in beta did 928 damage with an ult. I just want to leave that number to sit there for a moment. 928 damage with one ultimate. He could one-shot a level 12 tower with the ult. It was silly. But I digress. That is why he is the strongest card that this game has ever seen. And these 5 are the strongest 5 this game has ever seen. These are the only true OP cards. There was 2 other ones who hit OP status. Number 1 was Cleo. Cleo, very early meta, had no match. Her speed and agility, combined with the high damage numbers from the headshots, made her too much to handle. And that, combined with a lot of range, there really wasn't a consistent counter for her. She was just that good. The mobility kept her out of reach of the really, really good cards in the game that time, thus making her a very tough card to have. Another card that could make a spot on this list is Cypher. Cypher's hack ability was so good that it possibly moved him into OP status. This is the only card in the current spots, even more so than Arkin, that I could make a valid argument for being OP. As I stated, Arkin is very good. I do not view him as OP. And I explained why in the beginning of the video. But anyways, guys, those are the top 5 OP cards in Frag history. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe them down there. Let me know what you guys think are actually OP cards, and we'll discuss it. I will see you Legends next time. Bye-bye.